Alright, so welcome to the second installment, number 2, of my story of a song, where I talk about the how, when, where, why, and what's the meaning behind some of the songs that I write. So we're going to talk today about the train song. So I just made a lyric video for this song, and if you'd like to check it out, do that. So how? Well, the chorus was the first thing that came to me. It's just, I was hopping on a train with a friend of mine, Wiley, from, it was my first time train hopping, and we caught a train, literally midnight express, like middle of the night, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, from Grand Junction, Colorado, and just trying to head west to get to warmer weather. One of the things I really enjoy about riding trains is they fly through the flat country where there's nothing. You go faster than you can go on the highway. And anytime there's something to see, scenery, in this case I was, during writing this song, I was taking a train through the Rockies, through the Colorado Rockies. And there's so many mountains and beautiful scenery to see that it has to go really, really slow. So I love that. Zip along when there ain't nothing but flat land, but when there's something to see, you gotta go real slow. First time I sat down in a train, it was in a little stowaway hole at the end of a grain car, where the grain car slopes like this, and on the ends there's little holes. You climb in the hole, and my buddy went to the right and I went to the left, and there's these whole little apartments, little apartments. I'm an idiot. There's these whole little areas where you can sit down, stretch out your leg, prop up your guitar and whatever. So we're sitting there. The front of it slopes like this, like that, right at your head, right? So my friend hollers over at me. Wiley hollers over at me and says, "Hey Pax, you're gonna want to hold on to your, brace yourself." And I was like, okay. If you've ever been on a freight car, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It goes clink, 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 boom! My hands barely caught my face from getting just the teeth knocked out of me. Just whoosh, whoosh, wah! It was so crazy. Anyway, so that's where I kind of wrote the hook of it. That's what I started jamming with the EAB little thing. It's a lot of fun, and I romanticize riding trains and hitchhiking and traveling with nothing but a guitar. I romanticize the hell out of it because I love it. But I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I don't know what my excuse is. It is a federal crime to trespass onto government property. Years in prison. You face getting shot if some yard detective doesn't want to do the paperwork. You face getting shot if some dick doesn't want to do the paperwork. If he does want to do the paperwork, then you could get thrown into prison for multiple years for trespassing on government property. It's not very safe. You could get thrown off. You could fall off. It's a lot of it's a heavy piece of machinery that's hauling a lot of you know, whatever they're hauling. So if you're thinking about hopping on a train, no, don't do it. Don't do that. Don't do that. Seriously. Okay, alright. So I'm getting off track here. I do have a funny story though. So the falling off a train bit. I took my very first picture. It's in the video. I took my very first train picture. I have a friend, Preston, that has got this. Well, actually, all my train hopping friends at the time had these really cool, they all had these really cool pictures on their Facebook of them, you know, guitar on back or rucksack and walking off into the sunset along the top of a train. Really cool stuff. And I wanted one. So my buddy got a camera. We're going through the Rockies. I'm like, look at it, the sun's setting. It's the Rocky Mountains. I'm gonna put my guitar on my back and we're gonna get that awesome photo shot of me walking off into the distance on the top of a train. So I took a step, and the train went. I went stepped this way, and the train went this way. In ballet, it's called a penché, where your foot goes up over the back of your head. I had my hand right by my foot, my left foot, and my right foot over the back of my head, my guitar on my back, and everything right on the edge of that falling off the train. So the first picture of me walking down the top of a train was almost the first picture of me falling off a train. Only picture of me falling off a train. Thank goodness there's never been a picture of me falling off a train. Have I fallen off a train? I've said too much. Back to point. So, yeah, I did get that picture with 3 points of contact on my butt, sitting down on the train like you should. When did I do this? It's been a few years. I feel like it was 2016. Maybe. Let's see. Where? I was settling down in Grand Junction, Colorado, which is a place I might still settle down, but I'd gotten me a button-up shirt. I'd put in some applications. I got to know the venue owners and the bars, and was all set to stay there for the winter, or for the fall and winter. And then I met this guy, 6'3" with dreads down to his waist, and a big old smile, and he was hopping trains through Grand Junction. And I said, I've never hopped a train before. And so I went and hung out with them. We hopped a couple of trains. We got split up in Reno or Sparks City, near Reno, Nevada, and then reunited in Sacramento again. And that's actually what saved this song, was because he said, man, you know, we hadn't seen each other in a few days. He said, hey, I can't get that song out of my head. And I go, which one? And he goes, that heavy metal rock and roll shakes it quick. I can't get it out of my head. I was like, huh. Most of the time I keep songs. They've done their job when I've written them out. They've gotten it out of me, whether it's a good situation, bad situation, whatever. It's the feelings have been transferred, and I feel like I can move on without that in my head now. The only reason I usually play a song more than a week is because someone says that they liked the song and I should keep it. So your opinion does count. Let me know when I post a new song. Let me know if you like it. You know, if you say nothing, it's probably not going to stick around. Why? I always like looking for new experiences. I've always enjoyed finding new ways and means to get somewhere I've never been, meet people I've never met. Just adventurous spirit, I guess. That's why. The opportunity presents itself like it did to start hopping trains, and I caught on with it for a little while. I really enjoyed it. I'm not against hopping trains right now. What's the meaning? This is a great time to tell you that this song was originally called Heavy Metal Rock and Roll, as it should be, because that's what everybody says when they say, hey, I really liked that song. What was it called? The Heavy Metal Rock and Roll. Yeah, and nobody really picked up on that. So obviously it's about riding trains. It's a train song. Give it a listen. It's on the playlist where you found this, probably, Story of a Song. It's on a playlist. I'll put the video right after it. It's also on the playlist of my music videos. So I borrowed some Shutterstock images and threw a couple of mine of hitchhiking through the Blue Ridge Mountains or sitting on top of a train. But hey, you know, that's what I'm working with right now. One day I'll get a drone. I'll have all those cool shots, and it won't have a little watermark on it that says somebody else's. But whatever. Anyway, So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you enjoyed this story of a song. And tell me what you think in the comments below.